Hey, welcome to Credit Makes Sense with Nativa, the Frugal Creditista, where we talk about money, credit, and everything in between. Super excited to be here with you today as we answer quite a few of our Prosperity Partners questions on what it means to pay by the statement date, what if you pay by the due date, and more. So we're going to be making sense of that today. If you're wondering why the scenery has changed, blame it on online classes. Okay, the kids have the office. And I am in here, but I'm still rocking out with you guys, and we're about to make sense of some things today. If you're new to my channel, hey, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share if you're liking what I'm laying down. I'm a financial educator, certified credit counselor, credit coach, financial coach, author, speaker, and more. Most importantly, I am someone who is absolutely passionate about educating, equipping, and empowering others to transform their finances. So I'm excited to have you guys with me today. Let's get to it. Paying your cards by the credit card statement. So number one, there's 3 areas that I want you to know or look at or pay attention to when you're reviewing your billing statement. The very first one is the billing cycle or the billing period. And that's literally the time period between your statements. And this can vary. On average, it's about 30 days. I've seen some that are like 33 days, and I've seen some that's a little bit shorter, but it's literally the time period between when you get your bills. And you're going to see that amount. It's more than likely based on the Card Act. It should be on your billing statement. So it's not something that you have to count and try to figure out. The Card Act actually has quite a few perks in it for consumers. I should actually do a video on that, but that's one of the things that it lets us know how long that billing period or billing cycle is. When that billing period is over, you get a bill or a billing statement, and this comes out at the end of that billing cycle. And then on that statement, you have the amount due and when it's due, and that is your due date. And I'm actually going to include snapshots of this, a little snippet of pictures of this so that you guys can know what that looks like. So this is your billing cycle. Okay, so this came from one of our Prosperity Partners who submitted the question. This is her bill. She wanted to understand it. So her billing cycle is from September 8th, 2020 through October 7th, 2020, and it is 30 days in that billing cycle. She got her billing statement, her bill, on October 7th, 2020. So it's generated, in most cases it's generated on that day, but it can come a couple of days later, especially if you're getting it by mail. But if you are getting e-statements, they'll usually send you an email letting you know that it's ready, and then you can log on and get the full statement ready for you to peruse. Right about now, with everything that's going on, I strongly advise you to make it a habit to look at all the charges, to look at all the payments, just to make sure that everything is on point, that there's no charges that you don't recognize, or that they are not slipping and not accounting for any payments that you may have made that hasn't gone through. So make sure you guys are viewing your statements on a monthly basis. Now, this is the due date. Right here, it says November 4th, 2020. It shows you what the total amount due within this billing period, which is $354.85. And it tells you how much you must pay, the minimum, by November 4th, 2020. So this means that you can pay a minimum of $25 or the full amount of $354.85 or anywhere in between. You cannot pay under $25. If you pay more than the $354, let's say you round it up and pay $355, they'll either hold it as a credit on your account or they'll issue a check to you for whatever the overage is. This is the information that I love, where it gives you the minimum payment warning. This is based on the Card Act as well. It tells you about what happens if you pay late, what that fee is. It tells you if you only make the minimum payments, how long it would take you to pay it off, and you'll end up paying more, and it tells you by how much more. So that's always an encouraging thing, at least for me, because let me hurry up and get up this debt, because I cannot be paying any more money to anybody else but Nativa. So yeah, that's where that goes. All right, so that's your due date. You do not pay any interest if you pay the entire balance, the entire $354.85 by November 4th, 2020, which is your due date. Look at something else. If you pay online or make a phone payment, you must pay by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is so important to know because, I mean, if you are the type of person that's physically typing in your information and paying, then you're going to want to know when you need to pay by. So I had some of my West Coast people saying, oh, they said it was 5 o'clock. You know, when I did it at 5 o'clock, they still marked me late and I was charged a late fee. Well, that is because 5 o'clock was Eastern Standard Time and you're on Pacific Standard Time, which is like, what, 3 hours earlier? So you really want to be mindful when that cutoff time is. And if you are going to be late or anything like that, hop on their phone, get some type of arrangement set up so that you don't get charged that late fee. Do not worry about that late payment being reported to the bureaus because you have to be late for 30 days before it reports to the bureau. So key thing to know about that. But this is good information to know when you got to pay, what time you got to pay. What happens if you only pay the minimum balance and you don't charge anything else? So this information down here on minimum payment, 17 months, $418. That's only if this $354.85 does not go up. I'm going to repeat this again because I want to make sure we all have it, right? If you pay by November 4th, 2020, you will not be charged any interest. This particular Prosperity Partners interest is 24%. Right now, if she pays $354.85 on or before November 4th, 2020 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, she will not be assessed interest. If she decides to pay $25, $35, $50, $100, she will pay interest on that remaining balance that's left over. So let's say she paid $100. She'll get charged interest on $254.85. Okay, if she can only make the minimum payments and she never charged anything more than is $354.85, it's going to take her 17 months to pay this amount off. And she's going to end up paying Capital One, I believe this is, $418 versus this $354.85. So hopefully that is clear. Now, if November 4th, 2020 falls on the weekend, what happens then? This question came from Tiffany. What happens if my payment date falls on the weekend? Well, legally, the credit card company has to accept your payment and consider it on time. So you will not be charged a late fee if it falls on a weekend or even a holiday. So they have to accept it as paid on time as long as the full payment is received the next business day before, in this case, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Okay, if you're in doubt, a little nervous, think something is going to happen, then make a plan to pay it before this due date by at least 2 to 3 weeks. Some say 2 to 5 days. It really depends on the holiday because I can tell you around the Christmas time, all types of things kind of happen with open dates and different companies having closing dates, open dates, and all of that good stuff. And it has confused a lot of our prosperity partners. So I always say, you got the statement, you know how much it is, you know you can pay any time between the time you got that statement, in this case it was October 7th, up to November 4th, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can pay any time in between that. And so since you have that flexibility, and it's usually a minimum of 21 days between the time you get the statement and the time that you have to pay this balance or the minimum amount due, make use of that. It's a minimum of 21 days, meaning that it's 21 days or longer that you have between, in this case, October 7th to November 4th. So make use of that time frame and have your payments go out around the time that you get paid versus when they tell you to pay it. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. If not, let me know. All right, so if you pay online, this was another question, and this came from Carol. If you pay online, yes, some companies, I noticed some community banks, she is with a local community bank, and their online payment system takes about 2 to 3 days to process. Most of our major companies do not have this conditions. You'll also notice that they'll say online payments take 2 to 3 days to process. If you would like to expedite your payment, you can do so by clicking here and it'll be this much more. In her case, I think it was like $10, $12. So again, pay before this so that you're not paying online and you have that nice window. According to the Card Act, you have a minimum of 21 days. So you have this nice window that you can say, when do I get paid? This is when I get my billing statement. It'll make sense to pay it on this paycheck So when I get paid, let me just pay it. Don't even wait to the date that it's due and have to worry about getting it in on time and all that good stuff, especially if you have a bank, a credit card company that takes a few days to process the payment if you make it online. It's not worth the extra fee and trying to call in and getting the waive and all of that good stuff. Now, if you pay less than this amount, not the $354.85, but the $25, you are still late. The minimum amount due or minimum payment due, that's literally the minimum amount that you can pay. So if you pay less, I guess I should have had my arrow on the 25, but you guys are rocking with me, right, Prosperity Partners? But if you pay less than $25, you are still considered late. You will still be given a late fee. So in that case, if you don't have $25 to make this minimum payment, then you are going to get on the phone well before November 4th to make some type of arrangement, and it's called a hardship program. And yeah, you're going to get on that. So I would not try to do it on the 4th. I would do it before the 4th, well ahead of time. Even if you need another week or two, they're usually more flexible in that case. Now, what do I mean by paying the statement date, or when does it make sense to pay before the statement date? We have one of our Prosperity Partners, Pearl. Pearl says, I use all of my points with my card, so I charge almost everything on it. So Pearl, for you, since you're charging more than 30% of your credit card limit, and this goes for anybody who spends 20, 30, 40, 50, what have you, you are going to make a payment before your statements or your billing statement, before you get your bill. So before you get that statement in the email, in the mail, or what have you, before that billing period or billing cycle ends, you are going to want to make a payment and bring that utilization down. Utilization, again, is how much or what percentage of your credit limit are you using. So if you have a card for $1,000 and you say, okay, I'm getting all these points and this cash back. Let's say you're getting 5% back on whatever you spend, and you're like, oh, I'm about to go bananas on this, and then I'll just make sure I pay it off because it's stuff that I have to buy anyway. So you're using $300 to $1,000, so that's 30 to 100% of that credit limit. You do not want that reporting to the credit bureaus. Okay, when your billing statement cuts, when you get that bill, whatever is on that bill is going to get reported to the credit bureaus as your balance. So in your case, Pearl, you are going to want to make a payment to bring your utilization down. I like under 10%, but some like 20, 25, definitely under 30. 30 is a max, it's not the goal. So you want to bring it down significantly before your statement comes out or before your billing statement ends, so that you don't jack up your credit. So you're going to pay before the statement date. You don't have to pay it all off. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. Number one, Pearl, let's say this is her only card. She charges it up. She's going to pay before the statement date. She's going to pay, let's say she spent 50%, so $500. Let's say her credit limit is $1,000. She's going to bring the balance down to $50. So only $50 is going to report to the bureaus. That's phenomenal utilization. Okay. But let's say that Hannah, okay, yeah, I made the name up. Hannah has 5 credit cards. She only does one card like that where she gets all those points, but all of the other cards kind of still have, low balances on them. She can completely pay off that one card that she charges up like crazy for rewards, because she has those other cards that have small balances already to help her utilization. If that doesn't make sense, I'm gonna leave a link for you guys to ask questions. I can do another video on this, and if you want to upload like examples with your questions, you can let me know. But essentially, it's this. If I have multiple cards that I carry small balances on, and I have 1 or 2 that I charge a lot on for rewards and points and miles and all that good stuff, I'm paying those bad boys off, because then I can have those other cards kind of carry any utilization, or keep that utilization low. If I'm working with 1 or 2 cards and I'm doing rewards and miles and points and all that good stuff on both of them, I can pay off one completely, leave the second one with a very small balance, meaning I paid off most of it, left a very small balance just to have something report, because you don't want zero reporting, just to have something report so that I can keep my utilization on point. Again, in the comments, let me know if that is clear for you. All right, now what if you charge less than 10% of your credit card limit anyway? Then you can just pay when you get the statement. So let's say in this example, the statement is cut on the 7th. You get paid, let me see, what is this Friday's date? Today is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Oh, I'm on a wrong week anyway, guys. So let me look up when the 7th is. Okay, the 7th, let's say you don't get paid until the 16th, right? Your bill isn't due to November 4th. So when you get paid on the 16th, you know, hey, well, I get paid on the 16th. Let me just pay it off, right? There's no rush because you already charge significantly under your credit limit, your approved credit limits. And so now you can have the flexibility to just pay it when it's more convenient to you according to your pay schedule. And this is the case if it's 10%, 5%, 2%, 20%, I would probably get it a little bit lower at 30%. Remember, don't go more than 30% means that 30% is your max. Your goal is to get below 30%, okay? You guys actually lose points at the 30% level. And even when I bring my clients or I have my students bring their limits down to like 20, 15, 10%, 7%, their scores go up because of it. So keep that in mind. All right, so here I wanted to give you an idea of what it means when I say pay when you get the statement. This is why I tell everybody, if you get that statement, you focus on that. I know I get my statement on the 7th. When do I get paid? Pull it out of that check. So that's October 7th. Why do I love paying by the statement date? You don't have to worry about paying interest. You don't have to worry about any payment delays. You don't even have to worry about any drama about when the cutoff times are going to happen. You don't have to worry about anything that can happen with the system. I've had that happen before. Any issues that may arise with your bank. I'll never forget when I had a Barclay card and I switched accounts because of it was a breach. It was Bank of America. It was a breach. And I forgot to do the little switcheroo with Barclay. And oh my gosh, there was just so much drama trying to explain it to them, getting the fee waived. They ended up dropping my limit significantly. I was upset, threatened to close them, but I knew that it was an honest mistake. All I had to do was keep doing everything on point and they would raise it back up, which is what they did. So we raised it back up. So hopefully this was informative for you. But essentially, you know, you got the 30-day billing cycle. You know that you have what the billing statement is and when to pay. And that's why I always just advise, if you pay by the due date, anything can go wrong. You want to pay before, when you get that statement, around that statement date and around when the time that budget-wise you can pay it before the due date, so you don't have to worry about any of that drama. Because I have heard so many of you guys, whether it's through submitting questions to me, whether it's inside of my Facebook community, whether it's inside of my DIY school, Credit on Fire Academy, or even one-on-one as a client, where issues have happened paying the bill on the due date. Well, it's due on this time. I don't want to give them their money no sooner. I mean, come on now. Why? They're going to get it anyway. It's sitting on your bank account, just increases the chances of something else happen, and you have to put it towards something else and then not being able to pay this for some of you. Not all, but some of you. So it's best to just, all right, I know I got to pay it. I know I charge it up. This is when I get paid. This is when it's due. Let me hit it beforehand. I don't have to worry about it. And if you are automating your payments, I still like to do it automate around the statement dates, but I do have people who say they love doing it about a week before, and then they just schedule a date to make sure everything hit and is paid on time. They do that about once every 2 weeks, so you can totally do it that way. If you have other tips on how you do it and you make it work, definitely let me know inside of the comments. I love to hear it. And if you need personal help, then I'll leave the link below for you to schedule a budgeting consultation with us, and we can kind of help you develop your own custom and personalized money mastery plan. And if you have more detailed questions, you want to smack that link in the description where you can submit your information and ask your question, and we'll make sense of it in the next Credit Makes Sense segment. And I will chat with you guys soon. If you're brand new to the channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and share, and I will catch you next time. Later, partner.